On this episode of Modbox, we're going to be giving SuperSonic a much needed facelift.
Let's wind the clock back a little bit, and I'll show you how I turned this pile of crap into something a little more respectable. This car did come out of a wrecking yard, and really there was plenty of reasons for it to be there. The engine bay alone is crusty and pretty damaged, so I'm wasting no time in straightening everything up and welding it all back together again. I've got a new sedan front end to go on, which is going to complete the wide body look I've always loved with these cars. The focus for the engine bay is just going to be a general cleanup to get the progress going. While I could paint the whole engine bay, I want to leave that until the whole car gets panel bedded, so I'm just going to clear out everything in the way of the damage and touch up what needs it most. I'm going to be preemptive while I'm in here, and that means adding in things like a hole for the Haltech harness, which is way easier when nothing is in the way. There's a nice flat spot here on the firewall that I used last time, and it ends up being just behind the fan motor and the passenger footwell. So that's where I'm going to drill and hole. I am going to be keeping the factory U-brace, but this one's pretty rooted, so it'll be replaced at the end.
So what I'm going to do is paint in and along here, along the chassis rail, and up along the seam here to the top of where the guard goes. The main thing is just going to be trying to get rid of all this rust and make sure it isn't going to come back. Something else I've just done is pulled this out. Now this holds the subframe in place. I've just subbed it out for a bolt just to hold this up because this wants to come back down again. If we can buy new ones of these, I might do that, or even just clean it up because the zinc on the bottom is pretty good, but that top is not looking too flash.
The Y wheel here is earning its keep and makes quick work of the rust around the battery tray. The secret to a successful treatment is cleanliness, so I'm making sure I've got every last bit of rust and using Prepsol to clean everything before any base primer goes down. Something else I'm making allowances for is this upgrade Phoenix radiator, which isn't made to suit this car. It's designed to fit a Generation 4 Legacy, but with some modification of the lower mount and some addition of some new ones up top, it'll fit the Impreza quite nicely.
It's pretty good. And in the interest of being preemptive, I've put rib nuts in for ducting, so when that day comes I'll be able to mount something in here. So we can probably start masking all of this up and get it all scuffed back and ready for high full primer.
The stage is set, and now we can start to lay down some high fill. The base layer is all scuffed up and ready to accept the primer. Dad wanted to give a spray gun a test drive, and luckily I don't like painting, so he got stuck in while I looked for all the thin spots. For touch-up jobs like this, good masking is important. A few more minutes spent now will prevent overspray woes later on. The battery tray lost all of its seam seal to the wire wheel, so before the paint goes down, I'm going over it again with this tube of Sikaflex.
Now it's time for my favourite job, sanding. It's been hours, but I finally got it all done. So the car is now all sanded and all masked up. So I'm going to leave it for tonight, cover it up, and we'll come back tomorrow morning and chuck some paint on.
I was able to find the paint code for the engine bay and gave it to my local paint shop who were able to mix it up. The touch of paint is DE-2K, which is a little bit different to what was sprayed from factory, but once the whole bay is painted it will be the same as this. With the paint left to cure over a couple of days, it's time to start refitting all the little pieces that make up this engine bay. The wiring harness was starting to stump me. Happily, however, I had a spare car to take notes from. It must have been all good because with the key on, everything just worked and we didn't let the smoke out.
The steering wheel on SuperSonic is absolutely feral, like it is disgusting. It is all worn through and pretty gross. So we went and found this. It is literally like brand new. It is immaculate. There is no wear on it at all. So we're going to go from this to this. And lo and behold, we're back at a pick apart for this little beautiful thing. Hey Tyler, we've already filled the car up with golf parts. And we're going to grab this as well and maybe some other shit while we're here too.
Having a front crash beam is an essential part of getting this car certified. So I'm getting this one from a Hawkeye Impreza, which will give me the most amount of clearance for the front mount intercooler. The bumper will need a fair bit of cutting to get around the intercooler, so this is where a bit of patience and good measuring goes a long way. Now I can dig into the parts bin and bring back my intercooler pipes I refurbished in episodes 6 and 7 of Making Lemonade. This new intercooler is slightly bigger than the old one, but with a small amount of tweaking of the mounts, it still fits up to the original pipes. With the piping now finished, I can start to refit the bumper and weld on the support off the original crash beam to hold the skin in place. The headlights were looking a little bit tired, but a cut and polish sorted that out, no worries. This turbo bonnet I got was looking pretty crap, so I'm doing yet another round of sanding to remove this bodge respray and do one that's better. It's all the same process as last time. We're sanding, high filling, bogging, sanding some more, priming some more, and doing it until it's all flat, and only then will the paint go down. The iconic Subaru blue looks absolutely mint off the gun, and the bonnet gets finished off with a black scoop, which is my all-time favourite look. Now the facelift is complete, there's just one small thing left to do. I made a promise to myself that I would save every possible piece from the original car, and after some talks with friends, I decided I would honour my beloved car by keeping the original number alive and chucking it on SuperSonic. This new build is destined to be everything Sonic would have become anyway, and the black plates are no exception. So now that SuperSonic has picked up the fallen torch, I feel that the time is right and it has more than earned this. Now that my new forever car looks the part, it's time to get stuck in and finish the job I started. But that will have to wait until the next video.